Welcome back to Aarambh Dev Hub. This is episode 7 of the Gupti series. In the previous episode, we built a working frontend. Create a secret, get a link, reveal it once. The flow works, but the UI feels static. Interactions happen instantly without any visual feedback. Today we change that. We add animations using Spanda, a Rust animation library that gives GSAP-Level control in pure Rust and wasm. By the end of this episode, the UI will have smooth entrances, feedback pulses, error shakes, and a dramatic burn sequence. Before we animate, quick reminder. Subscribe if you want polished UI skills. Join our Discord for animation discussions. Support on Buy Me a Coffee to help create more. Links in the description. Let us bring the UI to life. Spanda is an animation library built by Aarambh Dev Hub. It is published on crates.io at version 0.9.2. The name comes from Sanskrit. Spanda means vibration or pulse. It represents the primordial creative energy that brings things to life. Spanda is renderer agnostic. It does not care how you display things. It just calculates animated values over time. You can use it with Leptos, Dioxys, or even native GUI frameworks. The key components are Tween for animating from one value to another over time, Timeline for sequencing multiple tweens, and a collection of 31 easing functions for different motion curves. For web, Spanda integrates with request annotating through wasm bindings. It runs at 60 frames per second in the browser. Why build this instead of using CSS animations or JavaScript libraries? Because we wanted animation control directly in Rust. Define motion in the same language as business logic. Type check animation parameters. Orchestrate complex sequences programmatically. Let us start with the fundamental building block. The tween. A tween animates a property from one value to another over a duration. The API is a builder pattern. You call tween new, then chain methods like from for starting value, to for ending value, duration for how long, and easing for the motion curve. Finally you call play to start the animation. For example, to fade in an element, you would animate opacity from 0 to 1 over 0.5 seconds with ease out cubic easing. Spanda supports animating multiple properties simultaneously. You can animate opacity and Y position together in one tween. The element fades in while sliding up. The yo-yo option makes the animation reverse after completing. Useful for pulse effects where something scales up then back down. The repeat option loops the animation. Pass -1 for infinite repeat. Useful for idle animations like a subtle floating effect. The delay option postpones the start. Useful for staggering multiple elements so they animate in sequence. Sometimes you need animations to happen in order. That is where timeline comes in. A timeline sequences multiple tweens. You add tweens to it, and they play one after another. Or you can use parallel to play them simultaneously. For the burn notice in Gupti, we have a 3-step sequence. First, the text fades in. Second, the fire emoji scales up dramatically. Third, the entire card fades to black. With timeline, you create this as 3 separate tweens, add them to the timeline in order, and play. Spanda handles the timing automatically. You can also mix sequential and parallel. Perhaps 2 elements animate together, then a third animates after they finish. The Timeline API also supports labels and position parameters for more complex orchestration. But for Gupti, simple sequential and parallel cover our needs. Easing determines how animation speed changes over time. Linear easing moves at constant speed. But that feels robotic. Spanda includes 31 easing functions organized by type. Ease in starts slow and accelerates. Ease out starts fast and decelerates. Ease in out does both. The most common ones are ease out cubic for smooth deceleration, ease out Bach for a slight overshoot that bounces back, ease out elastic for a springy effect, and ease in out sine for gentle symmetric motion. For UI interactions, ease out is usually best. The response starts immediately, which feels snappy, then settles smoothly. For attention-grabbing effects like the fire emoji in Burn Notice, elastic or back easing adds personality. Spanda easing functions are optimized. They run in sub-nanosecond time. No performance concerns even with many simultaneous animations. Let us apply Spanda to Gupti components. The secret form on the Create page should animate in when the page loads. We want a fade-up effect. The form starts transparent and slightly below its final position, then animates to full opacity and correct position. In the secret form component, we trigger this on mount. We create a tween that animates opacity from 0 to 1 and Y from 30 to 0 over 0.6 seconds with ease out cubic. We target the form container element using a noderef. When the component mounts, we get the element reference and start the animation. This entrance effect makes the page feel alive. Instead of content just appearing, it smoothly reveals itself. The copy button on the created page needs feedback when clicked. We add a pulse effect. On click, the button scales up slightly then back to normal size. The tween animates scale from 1 to 1.2 and back over 0.1 seconds. We use yo-yo true so it automatically reverses. The easing is linear since it is so fast. This quick pulse confirms the action happened. Without it, users might wonder if the click registered. With it, they see immediate visual response. We also show copied text briefly, but the animation makes it feel more satisfying. When an API call fails, we want to draw attention to the error message. A shake animation works well for this. The element moves left and right rapidly, then settles to center. We use keyframes for this. Instead of from and to, we define a sequence of positions. X goes to -8, then 8, then -4, then 4, then 0. Over 0.4 seconds. This creates a shaking motion that conveys something went wrong. It is attention-grabbing without being obnoxious. We trigger this whenever the error signal gets a new value. The shake plays, then the error message remains visible for the user to read. The reveal page has several animation opportunities. When the secret first appears after loading, we do a staggered entrance. The lock icon fades in first over 0.3 seconds. Then the secret text slides up from below over 0.5 seconds. This staggered timing guides the eye. Lock first establishes context. Then the actual secret appears. For the countdown timer, we could add a pulse when it gets low. When 10 seconds remain, the timer pulses to draw attention. The goal is meaningful motion. Each animation serves a purpose in communicating state to the user. The burn notice is the showstopper animation. When the 30-second timer expires, we replace the secret with a dramatic destruction sequence. Step 1. The text, "This secret has been permanently destroyed," fades in over 0.5 seconds with ease and out. Step 2. The fire emoji scales from 1 to 2 and back to 1 with elastic easing over 0.4 seconds. This draws attention and adds drama. Step 3. After a 1.5 second delay, the entire card fades to black over 0.8 seconds with ease in. We build this as a timeline with 3 sequential tweens. The delays between steps are handled automatically. After the timeline completes, we show a simple link expired text. The animation is done, the secret is gone. This sequence transforms a simple state change into an experience. The user feels the finality of destruction. Quick recap of this episode. We introduced Spanda as a Rust-native animation library. We covered Tween for single animations, timeline for sequences, and easing functions for motion curves. We applied animations to form entrance, copy pulse, error shake, reveal transition, and burn notice. The UI now feels responsive and alive. Interactions have visual feedback. State changes are communicated through motion. Next episode, we build an animated landing page. 5 sections, each with a unique animation triggered by scroll. Typewriter text, card flips, floating features, vault door reveals, and particle bursts. The app now feels alive with animations. If you want to see the epic landing page, subscribe now. Join Discord to share your Spanda experiments. Support on Buy Me a Coffee helps fund more tutorials, links below. Big landing page coming next. See you in episode 8.